Welcome, RPA champions. Are you spending hours of time posting to different Facebook groups or doing other manual repetitive activities? I'm about to show you how you can use Automa platform to create an automation that is going to help you create any repetitive or manual process and automate it using their platform that is really easy to use and also using AI. In my opinion, using a platform like this right now, it's much more stable than using agents or any other kind of technology that is also can be pretty expensive and not stable. And with platforms like Microsoft Power Automate Desktop and Automa, you can build stable automations that can help you create processes just like the one that you are seeing. So in this process, what we are seeing is we are seeing a AI agent that is going to post to multiple Facebook groups whatever we do. However, this is just a little bit cooler than just that. We can obviously post whatever we want or maybe the same text to multiple Facebook groups, but why not adapt the post to each group? So we take the about from the Facebook group, the title of the page, how many members it has, and all of that information we give it to AI with what we want to post, with the image and everything, and the AI is going to create a custom post for that Facebook group with the image that we have decided to attach, and it's going to make that post for us. And it's also going to do this for all of the groups that we want. So in this example right here, it is getting all of my groups, so it's not filtering per any case, but you can create a list or you can use an Excel sheet to start the automation in any way that you want. So right now we see it that it has created a custom post exactly for this page. Now it is going to wait for 8 seconds. It is going to go to another page. It is going to go read all of the things about the page, then it's going to go to the discussion. It is going to use AI again to create a custom post for this page, and it's going to repeat this process for all of the different pages. Now in this video, if you stick with me for the following 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to show you how to use one of my favorite automation platforms right now. It's called Automa, how to set it up, how to use it, and how to build this process from scratch. So stick around, let's get into it, and let's start from the beginning. The first thing that you have to do is go to the Automa website and download the platform. There is a free tier that is going to allow you also to build the same automation that I have built. I found this platform really easy to use. If you're used to Microsoft Power Automate Desktop and building processes in that, this is going to be faster. So once you have downloaded, created an account, downloaded the platform, you're going to create a new process. Now this is going to give you a blank canvas. I'm going to show you and walk you through the Facebook group poster so that you can follow along in this video and you can rebuild and build the same process. Now on the left side, you're going to find different actions that you can use in this automation. So for example, web automation, clicking, sending keystrokes, waiting, creating loops, magic command that is going to give you the ability to create any command just by describing it. So the first thing that we have to do is open a web page. So we go to web automation, we find the open web page button or icon, and we just drag and drop this inside of our automation. This is going to allow us to configure it. So we're going to see something like this. We're going to add the link that we want to do once the browser opens. So the browser, we can choose whichever browser that we are most comfortable in. We have to make sure that we have installed the extension on that browser so that the platform can communicate with the browser. And once we're done, we can also have some more advanced features, such as, for example, what happens in different situations, and also manage errors in case these automations fail. So once we click on done, this is going to allow us to create our first action. Now, if we again double click on this and click on test, this is going to give us a really cool ability. It's going to allow us to see if the action that we have added or that we are creating is actually working. So I have clicked on test and I can see that it was successful. It opened the web page and great, I know that it is working. So that is a really great feature that I found very useful in building this automation so that I don't have to run the automation from the beginning once I get down to the end of the automation. So the next action that we're going to do is start a human loop. Now this doesn't do much, so let me just show you how I have set it up, it is just going to give a little bit of delay to the different actions that we are going to be creating in this automation. So we can also simulate human-like mouse click, human like mouse moving, but that is not really required in this automation. I just want it to be a little bit slower when it's clicking on different buttons, so that it makes sure that it sees the button, and yeah, that Facebook doesn't think that is a robot. So we're going to click on done, and this is going to create a loop. All of the other steps we are going to add inside of this, not loop, but this kind of container. So in this container, we are going to add all of the different actions that I'm going to walk you through. The next action is also, I think, a really cool action, and that is unique to this platform. Why do I say unique? Because many of these actions are very similar to the ones in Microsoft Power Automate Desktop. However, in Power Automate Desktop, you don't have this get similar elements. Now, to search for an action, you would go here to the search, and you would type in get similar elements. This is going to show you all of the different get similar elements that are available, or all of the different actions with get in this example. We're going to be using the get similar elements for the web. Now here we're going to do something really cool. So in here, this is the selector that I have created using the capture element. Now to show you a little bit more about selector, I'm going to click on edit, and this is right here a XPath selector. So I can choose between using a default selector that might be something like this, that shows you the HTML path to your element. However, if it is really hard to match in some pages like Facebook or on LinkedIn or on Instagram, and these major platforms for social media made it really hard for bots to click on different buttons. However, with an XPath selector that is really simple, something like this, we can make it happen. So we're going to create a selector, a new selector that is going to be an XPath selector. Once we click on done, we can also click on test right here to see if our selector works. This is going to show us that it has extracted all of the URLs that we want and is going to save them to a list. Save elements right here, and this is going to be a list of the different pages that I'm going to be using in my automation. We're going to click on done, and then the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go through all of the elements that we have in our list. Now this can be an Excel sheet. In my example is this list right here that I have extracted that I don't see right here. It's this list right here that I have extracted of different things. To do that, we are going to loop through similar elements. So again, we are going to search for this action, loop through similar elements, and we're going to make it loop through the same element that we have extracted previously. So in this element right here, we are going to extract the URL, and we're going to save the result also to a variable that's going to be called web loop element. So why is this web loop element important? Because this web UI element is going to be the web page that we're going to be extracting or visiting. To start the automation, I'm going to add another action that's going to be navigate to new URL, and we're going to add the web loop element, which is the link with a slash in the end. But since I want the first page to be the about page, I'm going to add about right here. So after that, we're going to click on done, and then what we are going to do is we're going to, so imagine we are on this page, we are going to add a slash, and about the slash is going to be added automatically, and we're going to be on this page right here. So what we want to do is extract the title of the page and also extract all of this information about the page so that we have guidelines on how to post to this page as well. And we have also context about what this page is about and any other information that is provided on the about page. The next action is going to be to extract this information, and that is really easy to do. So we're going to use a get element details. So we're going to use this action right here, and we're going to click on select. I'm going to show you how to do it. You're going to click on control. You're going to find the element that you want, and you're just going to click control and click. So just like this, you're going to get the element that you are interested in and be able to create this part of the automation. I suggest that you rename the output variables to something that is user friendly. So once you have created your selector, you can click on test to to make sure that it works. So right here, I've been able to extract this part right here. We click on done and let's move to the next part. So the next part is pretty much the same thing. I just extract the body of the page as text. So again, we use the select, we capture the page, we can then click on test and we can see what we get. We get about this group, public, anyone can see it, etc, etc. So to get a little bit more information about this, I can also click inside of the variables or the logs down here and see all of the information that we have been able to extract. Why is this important? We are going to give this to the AI and the AI is going to create a custom post for us to post in that group. And that is really, really cool. So after that, we're going to do a click element. So again, we can search for click element and we're going to use the web element right here. Click element, going to select, use the select and just select the discussion button so that we are right here. After that, we're going to click in here, click in here, click on the image, click here, get the URL of the image that we want, click on open, and then add the post. So let me walk you through these actions as well in Automa. So we can click on done right here. So click on the next element that is going to be write something. And if you click on the element and you click on the edit button right next to it, you can see which element right here we are clicking on. We can also go on edit and see how the selector has been created in my example. Make sure that you use simple selector. So if something by default comes that looks something like this, where you have a class that makes no sense, make sure that you just uncheck that class and that you have something, a simple selector that you can work with. Next, Automa has this AI feature that is currently not available on the free plan of Power Automate Desktop. That is a really cool feature that allows you to pretty much interact with different models. So once you add this action, you can select the model that you want to interact with: Azure OpenAI, Claude, DeepSeek. In this example, I can use DeepSeek. We can add our prompt right here. So this is my prompt: write an engaging Facebook group post following the requirements below. In the context, I have the title of the page that I extracted and also the body. And then I continue with kind of the rest of the post. So just to show you an example, I have used Claude to create this post so that it creates really good posts that are tailored to each page. All right, so once you have done that, the results of this are going to be saved to GPT results. We can click on done. In this following action, I'm printing the output so that I can test it and see it in the terminal. So you can use this action anywhere that you want, just to get an idea of what is happening with the data inside of your process. The next step is going to be to fill the box right here. So we're going to click right here and fill this information right here. So we're going to use the fill text field, and same process as before. We are going to capture an element. We are going to, in this example, I have captured this element. And just to show you another example, again, try to make the elements that you kind of capture as simple as possible with as little options or parameters as possible to make it simple and kind of verify always that they work before running your automation. So once you have done this, you can click on the next element that is going to be to add a picture. So once we have added the text from the AI, we're going to be clicking on the picture. And after this, we are going to be changing our process a little bit. We're not going to be using web automation anymore. We're going to be using window automation. So in this window right here, we're going to be using a fill text field, and we're going to be filling the path to the image that I want to paste. All right, once that is done, we're going to use again a click element on the open button. And that is pretty much it. That is all that we have to do. We have added the image here. We're going to click on open, and the post is ready, the next action is to click on post. Once that is done, we're going to wait for 8 seconds, the loop is going to end, and our automation is going to start again. Now, once you have set this up, you can run this as many times as you want. Whenever you want, you can schedule these processes to run from your computer every day at 12 o'clock, or when you send an email to an account, or so on and so on. It is really simple to schedule these processes. Now let's see if our automation is working. It has clicked on the different buttons as shown previously. Now it's going to create a custom post again for this page that we were working on previously. So yeah, we see it working and we see it doing something that we would have previously done. Now, RPA champions, if you have watched and stayed with me for so long, I highly encourage you to leave me your comments down below on what kind of automations are you building, and also what you think about this platform. I found it really simple to use. I found it very stable, and the most important thing that I found really useful for me was that I was able to build these automations really quickly. Coming from Microsoft Power Automate desktop, building automations there for years, being an instructor on Udemy and Skillshare and LinkedIn Learning for Power Automate desktop, having done already hundreds of videos on Power Automate desktop, I found this a much easier solution to build processes with. Now, I have only built a dozen processes so far and haven't tested the platform for years like I have done with Microsoft Power Automate desktop. So I still have more to learn about it and more to build. So I highly encourage you to give me your suggestions on what kind of automations you would like to see. And again, your feedback on this platform is going to be priceless. Thank you so much for staying with me for so long. I hope to see you in the next video.